The Central Kentucky community rallied around him for months, but now a Lexington firefighter battling cancer has died.
The founder and former lead preacher of Southland Christian Church will be laid to rest this afternoon. A preview of his funeral coming up.
Lexington firefighters are investigating claims that a man set his family's garage on fire after they kicked him out.
This is WKYT News at noon.
Good afternoon from WKYT News. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Barbara Bailey. It's a sad day for first responders in Lexington. A 10-year veteran of the fire department who retired earlier this year after being diagnosed with cancer has died.
This morning, Matt Logston lost his battle with stage 4 neuroendocrine cancer in his liver, his bones, and his lungs. WKYT's Sean Moody has reaction from fellow firefighters, and that is our top story at noon.
Up until Matt Logston retired earlier this year, he was working here out of Lexington's Fire Station 8. This is where fellow firefighters would come to cover his shifts for him so he could still get paid while he was getting cancer treatment in Chicago. Logston was a 10-year veteran of the Lexington Fire Department. He was diagnosed with cancer early this year and traveled back and forth to Chicago for treatment. While he was gone, his fellow firefighters filled his shifts so he could keep getting a paycheck. The community also pitched in, holding fundraisers for him. I talked with Logston in Chicago back in February about all that.
It's surprising, it's shocking, it's humbling. All this stuff, you know, dealing with stage 4 cancer is obviously terrible. But at the same time, you know, it's been amazing.
Logston was also active in supporting legislation that would extend line-of-duty death benefits to firefighters who die of cancer. His family will be among the first in Kentucky to receive those benefits. Fellow Station 8 firefighter Captain Dustin Whited said Logston's wife and 3 kids will always be family to them.
They'll be family from now on. I mean, just because Matt's gone doesn't mean that we'll kind of dump them, lay them aside, and whatever they need, all they got to do is let us know. I mean, if it's plumbing or mowing the yard or moving or whatever, you know, whatever they need, we're here for them.
Logston's funeral arrangements are still pending. In Lexington, Sean Moody, WKYT.
Family. There is also an online fundraiser. You can find the link to that site at WKYT.com or our news app. The Lexington Police Department is also mourning the death of one of its own. We have confirmed that Detective Philip Harrison lost his courageous battle with pancreatic cancer this morning. He was a 19-year veteran of the force. Harrison leaves behind a wife and a 12-year-old daughter.
We will be falling into a stormy weather pattern over the next couple of days with the potential for some of those to be strong or even severe. Humidity levels will also be ramping up. You probably already feel that. WKYT meteorologist Micah Harris is live now in our First Alert Weather Center with details. Micah.
Yeah, and it looks like the stormy pattern will continue as we head throughout your Friday. Now, once we hit the weekend, it looks much better. Let's talk about what's going on right now. Nothing's showing up there on First Alert Defender Live radar. So there's some good news for us, and you look just due to the north of us, and here comes a line of showers and thunderstorms. None of those extremely strong, so we're not getting much out of that line. It's really trying to fall apart just a bit, but once it starts getting to the heating of the day, then that's going to be a different story. We also, if you look due west, you see that back towards southern portions of Missouri. That's where we're seeing the severe weather threat at this moment. Now, those will collide. That will give us the opportunity to see more storms later on this afternoon and evening. And the breakdown of the day will be those storms in toward the afternoon and evening. Now, once we get into tonight, it looks like that might just fade away for us, which is good news for us. But it's warm, it's humid. Doesn't feel good outside. 89 degrees with dew points, and dew points measure moisture of the air. Boy, it's feeling like southern states, feeling like Alabama and Georgia. It just doesn't feel good outside. Now, we're going to pay attention to these storms. I'm going to take you hour by hour, show you when you can expect those coming up.
And we'll see you shortly. Thank you. Investigators are trying to figure out if an early morning fire in Lexington is a case of arson. That fire broke out in a detached garage on Maryland Avenue about 4 o'clock this morning. The homeowner says he does not believe the fire was an accident. WKYT's Mark Barber has the latest on the man now that police are searching for in this Crime Tracker report.
The homeowner thinks this fire was started by a nephew who was out to get revenge because they kicked him out. The homeowner's daughter says she's devastated because the flames destroyed the few pictures she had of her husband, who died 3.5 years ago. Those priceless pictures of Christopher Harris were saved in a box in the garage. Now, all she has left is this one picture. Her children's artwork, her first Bible, all her irreplaceable mementos were destroyed by this large fire early this morning. The flames quickly tore through the garage on Maryland Avenue, so neighbors, worried the fire would spread, evacuated their homes. The homeowner says he let his nephew and his girlfriend stay in the garage behind his home because they were homeless. The owner's daughter kicked them out 2 weeks ago because they were stealing from them. When they came back again this morning, she turned them away. A few hours later, the garage caught fire.
It makes me sad. It really does. I mean, it's very scary. I've stood out here with some of the children, and they were crying.
Fire investigators are now asking police to search for Ronald Strunk, the homeowner's nephew. They think he's driving an older Ford Mustang that is spray painted black with a red top. It has a temporary Ohio tag. Firefighters are still investigating claims that this is a case of arson. They say it is still just too soon to know how this fire started. In Lexington, Mark Barber, WKYT.
Mark, thank you very much. The 81-year-old homeowner does not have insurance on his garage. He thinks the fire caused at least $50,000 in damage.
A well-known and well-loved Lexington minister will be laid to rest this afternoon. The Reverend Wayne Smith, the founder of Southland Christian Church, died last week. WKYT's Andrea Walker is outside the church on Harrodsburg Road, where his funeral will take place in about an hour. Andrea.
It's a daunting task to honor a man as beloved as Wayne Smith. But today, those who loved him best and those whose lives he touched are coming together to celebrate a life well lived. During his time at Southland Christian Church, Smith grew the congregation from 152 members to more than 3,700. Those who knew him best say that wasn't necessarily his plan. It just happened that way because of his rich personality and passion for Christ.
The legacy you built is from the heart. It's not just what's out of the Bible, but it is the Bible. It's the spirit that comes from it. And he was more of a spirit, you know, and it just unlike anybody I've ever known. You know, just fun to be around.
From its humble beginnings, Southland now has campuses on Richmond Road, Danville, and Georgetown, in addition to its main campus here on Harrodsburg Road in Jessamine County. Smith retired from the church in 1995, but he never stopped sharing the Word of God. He once said that he wanted to die in the pulpit, and he came about as close as he could, just like he wanted. In Lexington, Andrea Walker, WKYT.
Andrea, thank you. And the funeral for Wayne Smith is scheduled to begin at 1 o'clock this afternoon at Southland Christian on Harrodsburg Road.
The last of 3 public hearings to discuss Governor Matt Bevin's plan to overhaul the Kentucky Medicaid program is being held at this hour in Hazard. The governor says the program is too expensive in its current stage, and they say the goal is to move people into private insurance. Bevin has told Medicaid recipients that they will have to pay monthly premiums while maintaining a job to still get benefits. The federal government must approve Governor Bevin's request for a waiver, but if it's denied, he says he will eliminate the state's expanded Medicaid program. The Lexington Urban County Council has approved Kentucky American Water's proposed rate increase. According to the Herald Leader, details of the settlement won't be released until sometime this afternoon. The water company is asking for a rate increase that would affect more than 100,000 customers. On average, the proposed increase would add about $6 to a monthly bill. The settlement agreement must still be approved by the State Public Service Commission. And if you're feeling lucky about now, the massive Mega Millions jackpot just keeps getting bigger.
Gives people more time to dream about what they would do if they won. No winning tickets were sold in last night's drawing, which was the 7th largest in lottery history. That means the jackpot for Friday is $508 million with a cash option of $357 million. And in case you want to check out your tickets for smaller prizes, the winning numbers were 29, 46, 53, 64, 73, 10, and the mega ball was 5.
All right, good luck if you play. Well, it looks like Hillary Clinton is off the hook for her email scandal as far as prosecution, but it could still come at a political price. We'll have the latest on the possible fallout coming up on Kentucky's #1 Midday News.
Also ahead, just minutes before they were set to take the stage in Delaware, country music trio The Band Perry abruptly canceled the show. Find out why next on WKYT.
Welcome back to WKYT News at noon. Former Olympic runner Oscar Pistorius has been sentenced to 6 years for murder.
Pistorius was convicted of killing his girlfriend Reva Steenkamp on Valentine's Day in 2013. The double amputee could have gotten as much as 15 years, but the judge ruled that substantial and compelling circumstances existed in the case to give him a lesser sentence. After reading the sentence, the judge called him a, quote, fallen hero. Prosecutors and Pistorius's defense lawyers can now decide if they want to appeal that sentence. President Obama is slowing the drawdown of U.S. troops in Afghanistan. He announced today that he's leaving 8,400 troops there into next year. The president had planned to drop troop levels to 5,500 by the end of the year, but he says the security situation in Afghanistan remains precarious and that Afghan's security force is not as strong as it needs to be.
FBI Director James Comey has been called to Capitol Hill to answer questions about his decision in the Hillary Clinton email investigation. Comey decided not to recommend charges against Clinton, and now House Republicans want to know why. Craig Boswell has this report on that from Washington.
FBI Director James Comey will testify before the House Oversight Committee tomorrow morning. Republicans want to know why Comey did not recommend charges against Hillary Clinton for using a private email server while serving as Secretary of State.
We have seen nothing but stonewalling and dishonesty from Secretary Clinton on this issue, and that means there are a lot more questions that need to be answered.
Comey said investigators found no criminal intent, but that Clinton and her aides were extremely careless in handling her email.
She was guilty. She was guilty.
During a campaign stop in Raleigh, North Carolina last night, presumptive Republican nominee Donald Trump said the system was rigged and Clinton is unfit to be president.
Hillary Clinton can't keep her emails safe. And you know what, folks? She sure as hell can't keep our country safe.
Clinton has yet to mention the FBI's decision, and it's doubtful she's heard the last of the scandal. CBS News political director and Face the Nation host John Dickerson says it comes down to Clinton's explanations of her actions and what the FBI says is the truth.
This is not just about something that happened back when she was Secretary of State. This is about the answers she gave and the explanation she gave about an ongoing event and whether those match up with the reality.
The Republican Party has already released a video that contradicts her statements against the FBI's findings. Craig Boswell, CBS News, the White House.
Now, Clinton is campaigning in Atlantic City, New Jersey today, where she is expected to go after Trump's record as a businessman and a casino operator. Well, country music trio The Band Perry postponed a sold-out show in Delaware just minutes before it was supposed to start. It's all because of some security concerns.
Police say two men made threatening comments against the venue when they couldn't buy tickets to the sold-out show. An employee says one of the suspects said, quote, "What if we jump the fence with guns?" One of the men turned himself in and is charged with felony terroristic threatening. Police say they've identified the second man, but he has not yet been arrested. The concert has been rescheduled for August 17th.
A suspect in a domestic violence incident that allegedly led to a drug discovery is speaking out from jail.
And we're looking at high levels of humidity. There's a lot of moisture out there for these storms to tap into. We're going to get into that coming up next.
Now, your zone-by-zone forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
We have some storms on the way just to the north of us heading our direction. It's going to be one of those times you get into the afternoon and here comes those storms barreling on through. You can see that just to the north of the river. You go off into Indiana, it's pretty loud, pretty active. Not so much for our region right now. And it's one of those days that, you know, here in about 2 to 3 hours, we'll start to see those storms slide on in here. But as of right now, they're not really affecting us whatsoever. And there are some pretty strong storms out of this. Now, no severe weather at this moment. Nonetheless, you got to watch this very closely as we get off into Lexington and also those northern and western zones, because that's the best bet of actually seeing some of these storms roll on through and actually become strong to severe, because you get in the heating of the day. It is nasty outside. Dew points way up there, even an 80-degree dew point showing up down toward Bowling Green and also the 65 corridor, which means this: there is a lot of moisture in the air. If you haven't been outside today, step outside. You will absolutely feel it. That means any storm that comes barreling on through taps into that moisture, A lot of heavy rain is a given, and not only that, but also some lightning too, maybe even some strong wind gusts out of this. Here's 3 p.m. Let me tell you this, I would say anywhere from, say, 3 p.m. to about 5 p.m. I would expect these, if they stick together, to roll through Lexington here in the bluegrass. You go back towards 64, head back toward Moorhead, anywhere from 3 to 6 p.m. is when you can expect some of these rumbles of thunder, but I'd say Moorhead has a lesser opportunity to actually see strong to severe storms than, say, Lexington, Frankfort, Owenton, Williamstown. Those areas have the better likelihood. Once we get down into the southern zones, it's going to be more like your 4 to 8 p.m. that you start to see those slide southbound. So if you're trying to get out, get the kids out, knock out some grocery plans, run some errands before these storms move in, I would do that here in the next couple of hours, because it looks like those storms are going to be barreling down on us as we head throughout the rest of the afternoon. Now, your 7-day forecast will show this. You get into the rest of the afternoon and evening, it does look like we're going to be holding on to those storms. Then you go toward Thursday and Friday, and storms will be likely too. Barb, we've been talking about this all morning long, and really the past couple of days. It's wave after wave of those storms heading on through. So that's what it's going to be like all the way through Friday. Heavy downpours, possibility, small possibility of some severe weather as well.
You say we're talking about it today. It feels like we've been talking about it forever.
No, the past few weeks have been very active.
All right, Micah, thank you. And when we come back, a former Cat is heating up in the big leagues, while 2 current Kentucky kids are getting some national attention. Dave Baker's next with sports.
On Monday, our Dick Gabriel and Steve Moss will be on hand in Birmingham for the start of the SEC Football Media Days, where the Wildcats will try and convince folks that they'll be better than the expectations. One of the biggest reasons, a couple of offensive playmakers getting national recognition today. First, tight end C.J. Conrad, one of 45 players on the 2016 John Mackey Award list, which honors the most outstanding collegiate tight end. Conrad, one of 5 sophomores on the list, and because of that, the reason is, in his first and only UK season, he was outstanding. A native of LaGrange, Ohio, he played in all 12 games, led all SEC tight ends with 15 catches for 149 yards. His best game against Mississippi State, when he caught 6 passes, 56 yards. He had 2 other games with 3 or more catches. And no surprise that when the preseason watch list for the Remington Award came out today, John Toth was on that list. The Kentucky senior, one of 61 players, 8 from the SEC, which are being considered for that award, which honors the nation's top center. Toth, a native of Indianapolis, one of 4 returning starters on the Kentucky offensive line. He's considered one of the top centers in college football for the 2nd straight season. The 6'5", 310-pound senior will enter his final campaign having played in 36 games. That's 35 straight starts. Last season, he helped UK's 4-man running back rotation collect 1,855 yards, including Boom Williams, who averaged a school record 7.1 per carry. Off the field, Toth, a 3-time SEC Academic Honor Roll member, and is on track to graduate in December with a degree in mechanical engineering. In the majors, former Wildcat A.J. Reed, he is heating up. Only been called up less than a week. Last night's 2nd career homer, 2-run shot off of Seattle's Taijuan Walker. It gave Houston a 5-2 lead in the 4th, and that holds up. 5-2 is the final as Reed is heating up in a hurry. Tonight on the Big Blue Insider with Dick Gabriel, Rick Bozich from WDRB.com, and a look ahead at a big weekend of racing up at Kentucky Speedway. That's at 6 on 630 WLAP. Guys, that's a look at sports on your Wednesday.
Okay, Dave, thank you. By the way, when the weather was over, I was over doing an interview with the group that's here from the Governor's Scholars Program.
We're so glad they're here with
State.
us.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Bright young folks. We're glad to have them with us. Much more coming up on WKYT News at noon.
A man is recovering this midday after being hit by a train without any clothes on.
I'm Phil Pendleton in Laurel County at 12:30. A woman speaks out from jail after police say they find a couple fighting and then later an elaborate indoor growing marijuana operation.